channel. So today I am going to be doing a quick DIY on how to make an easy face mask. As you know, the current situation right now, with the coronavirus and thing, we all need to kind of keep safe and clean and, just to protect ourselves as much as we can. So I thought, why not do a face mask? So guys, just a little disclaimer, these are not a substitute for the N95 mask that everyone is talking about. These are cotton masks that we're going to make. The ones we're making today are cotton, and these are the best fabrics to use when making these masks. To use tightly woven cotton so that the germs and things not easily go through. They're not 100%, so I will say that to you now. They're not 100%, but they do help. It's better to have something than nothing. So some people also are making these for the hospitals right now, but again, these are not used. The doctors and nurses that are using these are not. They're not treating people with the coronavirus. They're probably treating people like with the flu and other little symptoms, other little illnesses like that. I thought I would make mine for me and my kids anyway. I thought I'd make one. So like I said, I'm going to be using cotton today. I'm going to be using African print cotton. I thought I'd use it for me and the girls because, we haven't been out for a while now, and I'm thinking at some point we're going to have to go for a walk. So I thought, like they said, it's not 100%, but it's better to have something than nothing. So I have made face masks for me and the girls. So without rambling on too much, let me just get into the tutorial and show you guys how to make one for you. So just before we start our tutorial, I thought I'd quickly show you how we're going to take the measurements for our face mask. So the first thing we're going to do is measure from the top of our nose to under our nose. And then the second measurement will be from our ear here, across our nose to here. And then the last one will be at just above, by the top of our ear, down to here, so you can see. So they're the three measurements we're going to need for this sewing pattern. So let's get on to it now. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today, as you could probably see from the title, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a face mask. So these are the things that we're going to need for the face mask. So we're going to need some elastic, some fabric, a measuring tape, pins, scissors, that's fabric scissors, and paper scissors. We're going to need some paper to do the pattern, and we're obviously going to need a ruler and a sewing machine at the end of the day. Okay guys, so let me show you how we're going to quickly make our sewing pattern before we start cutting anything out. So just get a piece of paper like this, just normal A4 paper. You can use anything, newspaper, whatever you want to use. So the first measurements we're going to use as from the measurements I showed you how to take earlier. So remember, from the top of my nose under my chin was 7 inches. From ear to ear was 5 3/4 times 2, which I think that works out to be 11.5. And then from my ear down to the side of my chin as well was 6 inches. So using these measurements, let's create our pattern now. So first we're going to draw a straight line. We're going to draw a straight line here, and then we're going to mark our 7 inches. Our 7 inches here will be, let me use my measuring tape because my ruler is a little bit long for the camera. So 7 inches is here. Okay, and then across here we're going to measure 5 3/4, which is here. And then this measurement down here is, what did I say it was again? Is 6. So first of all, let's just draw a straight line across the bottom here first. So going across here, and then the line here is going to be 6 inches, so that's here. I'm thinking to actually make this line 5.5 inches instead of 6. Yeah, 5.5 inches, I think I'll make it. So that's there. Okay, and then using our curve ruler, you can use a freehand. Don't have to use a curve ruler. But we're now going to curve it here. My ruler's a bit too big for this space here, but here we go. So, there we go. So there we go. This is how we've made our pattern. So what we're going to do is cut this out, leaving 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around. So we're going to leave the seam allowance here. We're not going to leave any seam allowance on this side here, but we're going to leave some here. So let's just say this is 1/2 inch. And another thing I'm going to do, again, it can be freehand, you don't have to do it like this, is just curve in a little bit, just makes it a bit more rounder. Yeah. So now we're going to leave our 1/2 inch seam allowance here and our 1/2 inch seam allowance here, so you guys can see where the seam allowance will be. Okay, so this is our face mask pattern. So now that we have drawn our pattern, I've labeled it, as you can see, it's a face mask, and cut this on the fold 2 times. So this is where we're going to put the folded fabric will be here, and we're going to place our pattern on the fold here, and we're going to cut this out twice so that we can get 4 pieces. Okay, so using my paper scissors, I am going to cut this pattern out. I'm not cutting out the seam allowance, but when I put it on the fabric, I will cut out my seam allowance. Okay, so we're nearly there. We're nearly done with our pattern. So this is our pattern. So let's get started with the fabric now. So guys, this is the fabric I'm using right now. I'm using some from Ankara fabric. It's cotton. They say you should use a tightly woven cotton to let it be a little bit more secure. But as we all know, these are not 100%. But it's better to have something than nothing, right? Okay, so I'm going to fold this once, as you can see, and I'm going to fold it one more time. So the fold is on this side now. So that's what we folded it once, and now we're folding it one more time. If you have an iron, you can press it down at this point. All right, so now we are going to place our pattern here on the fold, and then we are now going to do our seam allowance. As I said, we're going to be doing 1/2 inch seam allowance. So as you can see, I'm doing 1/2 inch, and we're going to do this all the way around. So pin your pattern to your fabric first, or if you have clips, paper clips, or pegs or anything, they're probably better, and then you're not piercing holes into the fabric. Guys, okay, so you can see that I've placed my pattern on the fabric. I've put my seam allowance on the outside. So now we're going to cut the fabric out. Okay, so there we go. So I'm now cutting 1/2 inch on the side here, 1/2 inch here. Yeah, and then we're going to cut here. Yeah, and then as you can see here, you see this is where the fold is. I'm not going to leave any seam allowance on this part. And then obviously you need to cut through the fold so that you have 4 pieces. Well, you don't even have to cut through the fold, to be honest. You can just sew literally round there, but I'm going to cut through. So this is our pattern that we've cut out now.
So we now have 4 pieces. 1, 2, oops, 3 and 4. Guys, you guys can see I've sewn them together on both of them. So now we've got this cone-like shape. So it's starting to take shape. So we now need to sandwich these together. But first we're gonna need the elastic. So let's get the elastic. So guys, here's my elastic. I've made a few of these already. And I think the amount of elastic needed for these is about, I'd say about 10 inches to be honest. 10 inches. 10, 11 inches, depending on how, how big your head is really. So I'm gonna do 10 inches because this elastic is quite stretchy. I'm gonna do 10 inches, which is about there. And this 10 inches is for both sides, both ears. So we're now gonna cut this 10 inches into 2, which will give us 2 5-inch pieces. Okay guys, so I have the elastic now, so I'm now going to be placing my elastic on the edge here. So now we're going to pin that down. Don't worry if it's stretching a little bit. I'm going to pin this on the other side. And you're going to do this to both sides of the mask. And then when we're finished doing this, we are now going to sandwich both pieces together. Hold on a sec. This elastic is tiny. So let's do the other side. So guys, I've pinned the elastic together. So now we need to sandwich this together. So making sure that it's the right side. So we're now going to do right sides together, and we are now going to pin the mask together. So guys, we're about to sew the mask together using a 1/2 inch seam allowance that we left on the pattern. Guys, when you're going to turn the corner, make sure your needle's inside your fabric, then lift up your foot and turn around. That way it doesn't move anywhere. Guys, also when you're sewing, make sure your elastic is tucked inside so that we don't sew it together. Hey guys, so you can see I finished sewing all the way around and I have left the opening. Okay guys, so let's iron this down. Just making sure where the opening is. I've pushed the seam allowance in. I'm just going to press that down with the iron now, using some steam. There we go. They're looking all cute. So just two more steps and then we are done. So we are going to now, if this is yours, you can try it on just to make sure it all fits and you know where to put your pleats and stuff. But if it's not yours, it's advisable not to try it on. Otherwise you'll be spreading your germs, so it's advisable not to try it on at this point. So guys, we're nearly done. So the last thing we're going to do is put a little pleat on the side. So I've done this side. It's probably about, what, 1/2 inch. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to fold it together so that it's even. So you guys can see. So there we go. So about another 1/2 inch on this side. And then literally all we're going to do is sew down where this is, go all the way around, sew, and then we are done, guys. And this is our face mask.
So guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to make these beautiful face masks. Yeah, so like I said, they're not 100%, but it's better to have something than nothing. So I hope you guys keep safe, keep clean, and God bless you all. Ciao.